Hey Melissa, Scott Austin here from Jade Puma, and I'm just going to dig right in. And you're going to find that I'm going to ramble a bit, I'm going to bounce around, I'm probably going to swear a lot as I get more angry and frustrated, but that's just the way I do things. So I'm going to start with the most important page in your website, and that is your product page, right? This is where people are making the decision to buy, right? I'm not going to talk about the header right now, I'm not going to talk about the footer. I'm just going to look at your product page, the part in the middle. And the first thing I notice is, you're showing reviews and you have no reviews. So I think you're using Yotpo. Yeah, using Yotpo for reviews. If it's possible, it would be great. I don't know if Yotpo does this or not. I would think it would, but if you could not show no reviews, right? So basically what I would see on this page is I wouldn't see this element here, right? And I wouldn't see this element down here, because you don't want people writing reviews, by the way, through this tool here. Right? You want to turn that off, website reviews, because you only want people who have bought through your website that you send an email out to, leaving you a verified review. So you can just turn that functionality off for write a review, and hopefully there's a setting, whether it's in BigCommerce or in Yotpo, where you can say, don't show this element until I have reviews. So let me just see if you have a reviews page. So I'm not seeing a reviews page here, which is where I would have thought it would have been. Seeing your sitemap. Yeah, it looks like you don't have a reviews page, which would be a really nice thing to add. It also helps, if I remember correctly, some of the Google things, whether it's the advertising stuff, if they can see all of your reviews. So if Yotpo does a all reviews page, I would add that to your store. What I was going to go, oh, here we go. I just wanted to see, what it looks like when we have reviews, and that's looking good. So the thing here, right, is this is great. I got 18 reviews. That shows me, social proof. That's the whole point of reviews. People can say, things about your product that you can't say, right? So people get this honest feedback from other customers, which is really nice. And then it also shows that people are purchasing this product, right? So here I can see that, hey, today's the 7th as I'm recording this. So yesterday someone left a review. 2 days before that, a day before that. So people are actually buying this right now. It's not like this is an 1890s fashion. This is 2023 and it's selling. So that's really good feedback for people to know, right? What you're doing here is you're giving your store a heartbeat. So you're showing more life in it than just what you put out there, and letting your customers help do that. This is beautiful. Now, if reviews allows you to do photos, I would also add photos, because those can be really, really powerful. And I would think, I don't know how people are about sharing their baby photos out on the internet, but I would think people would want to show how cute their baby is inside this beautiful dress kind of thing. So I don't see any photos here, so I don't know if you have photos turned on or not, but turn them on if you can, because they're super powerful. So the point being, right, so they're showing a heartbeat here. You're showing life, which is great. This page, we're showing death, right? So we're showing nothing going on, right? Nobody's purchased this product, so that's why you don't want to show empty reviews, because there's no social proof, and actually the lack of proof is anti-proof. It's negative, right? I see this as a negative for this product, not as a null or an equal. It doesn't matter. Like, this is a negative for me. Like, why would I buy this? Nobody else does, right? Kind of thing. That's why you want to turn it off. And someday you'll have reviews for everything, and it won't be a problem. But as a new store, I assume you're a new store, or maybe these are new products, right? It takes time for them to build up their review history. So if you can hide those, that would be great. So now, the Feltman Brothers Girls White and Pink Smock Portrait Dress. So let me just do something here and search on the internet for that. So this is not your product. You're selling somebody else's products. Now, this is, but the beautiful thing, right, is we search for your exact product title, but you showed up number 1 in that, right? So that's really nice. And eBay shows up next. Your shopping listings up here. Are you doing shopping listings? No. Well, you're not doing paid shopping listings yet. Let's go to the shopping search. So this here, let's just see. Let's do a quick search this way. Yeah, so I don't see your product showing up in the Google shopping page, whether it's as ads or free listings. And this is a nice way to get more coverage and exposure on the internet. In Shopify, I know how to do this. I'm not sure how you would do this in BigCommerce. I know you can, right? You can set up a Google Merchant account. You can create a product feed, get your product showing up in here for free, and then if you pay, you can show up here. So on this, and maybe you're doing that elsewhere. I just picked up a random example, so it might not be, showing your whole site. But the thing I wanted to do was I wanted to search for the product, see how you ranked. So this is a really good sign to me, right? Like I said, it's exact, keyword match to the way you've listed this out. Other people might change the ampersand to an and. So you should show up higher than average here, but you're doing that, right? So you're showing up in search. That is great. And I can also see your Yotpo reviews are showing up for your other products too, so that's really nice also. The only addition I would say is if you added a Google Merchant feed for shopping, then you could show up on this page also. You could show up down here, and you could pay if you wanted to show up here. If you pay to show up here, you can then pay to show up here, right? These Google shopping ads are the best ads to start out on for driving traffic to your store, right? And let's actually just look at your address. It's $66. This is $32, but I don't know if that's the same product or not. Looks like it might be. So there's some price things that happen there, but it's just another tool in your toolbox to play with. Now the other thing I'm going to look at on this search that I just did, right, is I'm also going to go and I'm going to look at images. Now, so let's see the same shopping ads show up at the top. Right, those are super powerful. And here, you show up number one. Are we in images? Yeah, we're in images. That's beautiful. So on something here, let me just check and see. Open image in new tab. I want to see what you've named that image. Yeah, it's girl's white smock dress with collar. So that's really nice. You've got the product name in there. It doesn't have the Feltman and stuff like that, but it doesn't say image 4259, right? Which is how it shows up in the image search, because you actually are using words and not some generic, words that are specific to the product that's in the image. That's a good job, right? You can always improve on that a little bit if you wanted to, but you're doing good stuff there from some SEO practices, right? The fact you're showing up in the Google image search and in the all search, that's fabulous, right? What you're missing there is showing up inside of shopping. Now let's look at videos. Yep, you don't have videos, and you're probably not making videos yet, but I tell all my clients they should be making videos for everything. Very few of them do, but the number 2 search engine in the world is YouTube. Google obviously is number 1, right? So what you're trying to do is show up in these different types of searches, not just in one of them, but in multiple of them. So you're doing well in a couple, still some work to do in a couple more, right? See, you're not creating videos, so you're not showing up in images. You don't have a Google Merchant feed, I assume, based on this one product, so you're not showing up in shopping, right? But you are showing up in images, you are showing up on the all, so you're doing a 50% there, which is nice. But I think that leaves room for you. Imagine if you had a video about this product. Literally, I tell all clients, make a video for every single one of your products. Very few people do that. But the ones that do are the ones that stand out, right? They're the ones that get that YouTube traffic kind of thing. And YouTube traffic is significant. And YouTube, unlike Instagram, where Instagram, you're in the feed for a day and then you're gone and you'll never be seen again on that post that you did. A YouTube video will bring people to your site for a decade easily. It's more permanent of exposure than in Instagram. So a lot of brands they start focusing on Instagram first, where I say you should be focusing on YouTube first. Now, I don't see you with a social presence there. Yeah, it looks like you're not doing anything on social right now. But if you were to, I would start off with YouTube. So we were talking about this product, right? So this is, I'm assuming, someone else's product. So it's, I assume Feltman Brothers is a company, and this is going to let me look at all their brand stuff, which is not bad. So I don't know if this name is important. Like if people know who Feltman is, like a lot of people use, like if this was Levi's, right? Not that Levi's makes baby dresses, but a brand name that people know and recognize in this space and adds value, then it's a good thing. But here, what I see, right, is I see Feltman Brothers, the word right there. I see it right here, and I see it right here. Right? Do I need to be inundated 3 times in the first 4 lines of this page with the same word, Feltman Brothers? Right? If that is important, then you leave it in the title. If it's not as important but still relevant, then you show, the vendor here, kind of thing. But you don't need to repeat it over and over again. Price $66, that's fine. Now on the SKU, do people care? Do people search by SKU in your store, right? So either they're searching in your store or they're searching on the internet. If they are, show it. If they're not, then don't show it, right? And you could probably scrunch this stuff up a little bit by having SKU and 17436 be on one line. Same thing with condition. Put it on the same line as, put the new on the same line as condition, and the availability usually ships next business day. Put that on the same line. Now there's a little bit, your customers probably never noticed this, but this text, availability, does not map what's next to it, right? This is your shipping lag time, where availability to me means is it in stock or not. So, it could be a yes, usually ships in next business day, but that's really nitpicky. Size required, right? Can I uncheck size? I don't think I can uncheck it, and it came pre-selected. So the fact that it's required is an extra word that is not necessary there because they can't not select it, right? So it's not like I can, uncheck it. Therefore, you have to remind people it's required. So this extra word here, I wouldn't have there. Now, I assume, I'm not a parent, I assume parents know the difference between 12-month, 18-month, and 24-month sizes, but I don't see any size chart here, right? So does this product need a size chart? Most clothing people put in size charts just to reassure them, kind of thing. I saw on another one of your products, I was looking at your site earlier, I saw another one of your products, you actually had, it stays true to sizing kind of thing. So some sort of affirmation about the sizing would be really nice. Quantity select. Do people buy more than one, right? Because we always assume, that, there's a quantity selector on the page, but I've actually had stores where we take it off because no one ever buys more than one for a given product. Now, in your space, I bet you they probably do, so you should leave it on, but it's a question to ask yourself. And then here, I've got all this stuff, left aligned here on this column, and then I get down to the buttons, it looks like they're center aligned, but so this layout is just weird, right? Total nitpick, not the most important thing in the planet. But I also think that add this to the wish list, to me, that's in the wrong place, right? And there, not that there's a right and wrong, so I'm being a little too extreme when I say wrong, but that I did not expect to see wish list down here. Now, actually, the pro of it is, hey, I'm thinking about adding this to the car. I don't think I want to buy it yet. I'm not sure. Let me add it to the wish list. I can see where, that happens, but I'm used to seeing that up here somewhere, the little heart or something. So because this is not the way that I've seen this done in most e-commerce stores, you don't want to be different in this respect, right? You want people to know that, hey, if I'm searching for this information, it's in the same place everybody else puts it. You want to search, what do? Oh, you go up to the header, it's up there somewhere, kind of thing, right? You want to log in, oh, there it is right there. So I would have expected, and you've got the heart thing here, right? And let's see what happens when I add to the wish list. I have to log in, that sucks. I'm not going to create an account right now. Let's see if I can. So the question would be is this my wish list? I thought I added it to it. Wow, that was crazy. Yeah, you see what's happening here? I'm looking on one screen and clicking on, I have four monitors in front of me. I'm doing different things and watching them about your store, right, as I'm doing this. And I looked away for a second and clicked, and I ended up completely somewhere else. And this happens a lot in your store, right? Things are just confusing, right? Little things. So let's try that again. Let's create new wish list. Yeah, that makes me sign in. Add to my wish list. Right. Making someone sign in, and notice here it says sign in. It doesn't, new customer, I got to create an account. If you got really fancy, you could not have your generic sign-in page here, right? You could talk about the value prop. So right now, all I want to do is click a button and save this, right? And I can't. Now I have to create an account. Well, what's the value of my wish list, right? Because you took them to the generic login page, I'm not, I don't, like I said it earlier, I'm not going to create an account. Done. Move back, right? But you could use if you made a separate page for this. It said, hey, our wish list, yada, yada, yada. Here's the benefits of a wish list. And show a happy customer kind of thing. That would be great, right? Maybe you could convince a few people like me who are like, yeah, I'm not going to, skeptics, I'm not going to create an account. Well, maybe it's worth it kind of thing. But, you just take the generic sign-in page, which everybody else does too. If you spent a little time and made this a little bit more about the wish list, you might win people over here, right? You might not, but it's the kind of thing. I would add that to the to-do list in the backlog, and I put it low on the priority list, right? So these share buttons, I never ever use them in a store. I don't think anybody's used them since 2006, right? They were a great best practice a long time ago, but now no one ever clicks them. They're just a waste of space, unless you've actually seen where people use them, right? And sometimes the email one might be useful. Kind of thing, but I doubt people are posting to LinkedIn and that kind of stuff. So I'm not a fan of these things. Now let's look at your images. So your product photo is not clickable. I cannot look at this in full screen mode. I would like to, right? I'm not a fan of this hover thing. The hover thing is fine. I'm on a big screen. I got a 32-inch monitor. I want to double click on this, fill the screen with it, and I can't. So if you have the ability for your carousel to be clickable, that would be nice. And here, fonts. Nowhere here do I see anything about personalization or monograms. All right, so this is my first introduction to the fact that I can have this personalized. And I don't see any personalization options here. I'm going to read your text in a minute down here. We'll see what that looks like in a minute. So this, to me, is not congruent with what I've seen so far. I haven't seen anything about monogrammed or personalized. I guess it is monogrammed here, right? Now, I don't know if the monogramming is all these products. Oh, if you would like your monogram, check yes, optional. There we go. I didn't even see that. Well, that's because I switched products. In fairness to you, I did switch products halfway through reviewing this, so I'm on a new product now. So it is here. Now, what I like to do, right, is, see, I like buttons like this. Now, I would make these buttons so when you click it, you know it's clicked and selected, and I'll show what I mean by that here in a second. Like this blue text is a start at that, but what I like to do, let's just go to Heritage. And this is a slight CSS tweak you can do inside your store. Let's just pick a laundry detergent. And what size is selected already? 32 ounces, right? And this theme did the exact same thing you did by default. It outlined the thing. All I did was went in and did some CSS and said, all right, when I select on 64 ounce, now it's got a background color, right? Notice the color changed from black text to white text. Like, it is obvious here which one is selected, right? In yours, it is not as obvious. Yes, I can see that blue, which, by the way, is not part of your brand colors. Right, your brand colors are this green, this pink, and a baby blue. These colors appear your brand colors. This is not one of them. Right, so what we do here is we're using the brand colors. Right, you can see the green here is the green here kind of thing. And the product seals have the brand colors also in them. So this one here, and these are nitpicking points here, but I would make it even more obvious here, and I would make these buttons bigger. Right. Allow people to see, in more easily select, especially on the phone, right? On the phone, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it's a smaller area for your fingers to hit kind of thing. So what I lead up to is on the yes, right? So if you would like your item monogrammed, please check yes. You could have it as a no and a yes, right? And no is selected by default because this is kind of small, right? Now, you might not have the option. I don't know what app you're using for the monogramming personalization. It might only give you this option here. But if it could be, a big box like this with a no and a yes, and the no is a background color, just like the 0 to 3 would be right now, and then they could select the yes, so it's really obvious they've toggled between them. And then when they click the yes, this comes up. That would be great. Now, I select the yes. I don't know what the price is for monogramming. Right? And this optional thing, right? If you've got a no and a yes, it's no longer optional. It's pre-selected to no. You don't have to have that extra word there. But here, what is the cost of monogramming? So it'd be nice, and maybe it's free. I don't know. But if it is, it should say free. Hey, free! Exclamation point! Monogramming, kind of thing. If it's paid, I should know that when I select this. Let's even, just put in some stuff. Oh, so your font, right? So your font, you should give them a pull-down menu. You should give them choices. If these are your fonts, so I don't know so here's where I'm confused. I got fishtail script block, right? Where is, see, I hate that hover. I'm trying to find the fishtail, and as I hover, I can't, right? I'm not a fan of hover. So name fonts. Walker. All right, so this one says name fonts. This hover thing's pissing me off right now. This thing says name fonts at the top. This thing says name fonts at the top, but it's different content. So I'm very confused by these, right? What is this for versus this, right? And my guess is, you've got name fonts. There's when you're doing text. Then you've got the monogram fonts, which you're calling initial fonts, which is totally fine. All right, so I guess, so there's chain font, block font, bow script, script font. But over here it says fishtail script block. I don't see where there's a fishtail, there's a script, and there's a block. So are fishtail, script, and block my only choices? Because that's what this text here makes me think. Or can I pick any one of these? And if I can pick any one of these, is it any one of these name fonts and these name fonts? Right? So that's, it gets confusing, right? I think you see where I'm being confused, right? Now, what would help is if this select font was a drop-down menu or radio button or, buttons like this, and it shows me, here's your 5 choices, here's your whatever number it is, 3, 5, 10, whatever number of choices you got. Here they are, and you can only select one of them, right? That would help a lot. See, now here I can see embroidery, $10. Is embroidery the same thing as monogramming? And I'm being really stupid here on purpose, right? Because maybe there's more than one way to monogram. Maybe there's iron-on, maybe there's embroidered, maybe there's, dye sublimation or whatever, right? So, if this embroidery means this monogramming, use the same word. Be redundant. Be consistent, right, kind of thing. If it's a different process, then you can say that. That's totally fine. And you might want a little more control here, because I've actually done a lot of personalization stuff in my past, right? You might want to have an option for putting in a line of text, or a different option. So after the yes, it might be use a name or a monogram. That's a choice they have. If they do name, you show the name fonts and a line of text with up to 12 characters, whatever the limit is. And if they pick monogram, you have them pick the style of monogram that they want, and then they put in their 3 initials, or you might have different controls for those things. Like I said, not sure what you're using for your personalization app here, but you should definitely, if it gives you more flexibility and more if-then statements and options and stuff like that, leverage those and make this as absolutely simple as possible for your customer and step them through a step at a time. Do you want monogramming? Yes. All right, what type of monogramming? Name or initial? Name. All right, here's your font choices. Here's your color choices. Right? And on here, I don't see anything about color choice, but I saw that here, right? with your product, you may only do one color, pink, to match this threading, right? Which looks really nice, by the way. You might not allow people to pick, green or blue or whatever. If that's the case, then don't show this image, right? I'm going to guess you're using the same monogramming image across all your products, but your monogramming options are probably different per product. You need to make a different image for each one. Now, that all said, I would have this monogramming stuff not up here. I would make a section on your page down here somewhere, and I would have it, be code. I'm not sure how it works in BigCommerce, but what I would do is I would create a section, or I would create a page or some sort of entity for monogramming, and I would add a meta field or some tag or some value that says this is a monogrammable product. And if this product has that value assigned to yes, then I would show that content across all the stores, kind of thing. It talks about the value proposition of monogramming, the steps, the process, a nice little video on how to do it, all that good stuff, right? So that is so this one photo, I have one photo of this product. I'm going to spend $44 for something and just one photo, and that's not that good, right? And that photo is a little bit fuzzy. It's not that bad. I'll be a little overly critical. But it would be nice if there were more photos, right? And this is probably what you got from your manufacturer. A lot of my brands that are reselling people's products, other manufacturers' products, some of them just use the photos they get. Others, enhance those photos with their own content creation and their own photography and own video creation stuff. All right, so now we're down to the description. So I got a tab for description and no other tabs. So I don't need a tab functionality if there's no other tabs. That said, a couple tabs that I really like a lot are your shipping policy and your return policy, especially for clothing, right? Where things might not fit and all that kind of stuff. Putting those policies right there, even though you probably have them in the footer. Privacy policy, shipping policy. I don't see a return policy. Yeah, I don't see a return policy. That's what shipping says. So there's a request for return on the shipping page, which maybe this is also my return. No. Oh, there's 30-day returns. So this is shipping and returns, right? So in your footer, you're going to want to say shipping and returns, or make them separate pages, right? I would make them separate. And then put that content in here as tabs also. So if people have questions about that, they don't have to go searching through your footer navigation, which by the way is really confusing and redundant, which I'll talk about later, right? They can quickly find the information they want about shipping and returns right here on the product page, right? I do that for most of my stores, right? Let's just go back to this example here. I'm gonna bet we have shipping and delivery right there, type of stuff. So that makes it easier for people to find what they're looking for. So this description is really, really short. Really, really short. And in the world of ChatGPT, it's super, super easy to make a product description. So this store here, I just launched a couple weeks ago. It's a B2B. It was a really, really, really bad store. The one they had before, the platform. The photos are still absolutely horrible. I'll show you an example how large the photo. That's the biggest photo they got for this product. Right? I don't have the different colors and all that kind of stuff, and they had one line of text before. And all I said to ChatGPT was give me a product description for this page, and it spit all this information back out. And then this gives the store staff, who are too busy doing other things right now, they're building out a whole new warehouse and that kind of stuff. But now they've got this content to start building off their product description. So for you, you're probably pulling the product description from the vendor that you're getting it from, put that in there, and then have ChatGPT do a rev on it and come up with a better product description. Now, what I always tell my stores, even though these guys aren't doing it right now because they're too busy, what I always tell my stores is take what ChatGPT gave you and then edit it. Then put your voice on top of it. But I find it's way easier to edit than it is to write. So I use ChatGPT a lot to give me flow and the points that I should make, and then I go in and edit it after the fact. And this is a great example of it where you could flesh this out quite a bit with ChatGPT and then run through it and edit it a little bit. Because what happens is, people are looking at this, this little onesie and they're like $34. Would you buy this product based on this information and this photo? You're not giving them enough information. Now, a person who knows that's what they want, boom, done, right? But there's people that are on the fence right now. You want to push them over the fence, right? That's what you're doing with reviews, right? Once you have reviews of this product in there, you're help pushing them over the fence. If you come up with your own content, that's going to help them push them over the fence also. Right? So here you got Yotpo. If you can get rid of that stupid Yotpo link, I would do that. You're linking off to somebody else right now. Why would you take people away from your website and take them to a top level landing page, a sales page kind of thing, right? So if you can remove that, or I would do it with CSS, whatever, I would get rid of that Yotpo link if possible. I wouldn't have the write a review, as we talked about already. I wouldn't even be showing this review. Questions are really good if you have people asking questions. If in your store nobody's asking questions, turn the feature off. Like I said before, having videos would be great. Now, I'm not a fan of related products. Matter of fact, I hate them in most stores, and this is an example of it, right? So here I am, I'm looking at a onesie, and the algorithm is telling me that these booties, this bonnet, this blanket, this hat, these are related. Now, do these products good? Because they're all white with pink. So, like, if you actually put this together and said, this is an ensemble, right? If that's the case, you should say that, right? Because when I think about related products, I'm like other onesies. But that's not the only way that people could interpret related. Related could be matching or coordinated or something like that. If these are coordinated products, or whatever the right word is, same style, whatever kind of thing, change that related products to that. But if this is just the algorithm spitting out random things, I would turn it off, right? Oh, you got testimonials over here. I see it now. My little thing's getting in the way. Let's see if I can. Oh, so this is just for that product. Let's see what this is. Site reviews. There's only a few of those. So this, see how broken this thing is? All right, so I've got this X up here with a really bad contrast. I've got this scroll bar here, but I still see there it is down there now, this thing. So this is just broken, and I'm not a fan of it, right? I'm not a fan. So here I am on a product page. I got reviews already. Why would I have this other thing over here, which just takes up, on mobile? You're not showing on mobile. That's good. I can actually just refresh the page. Notice how your header is broken on mobile also, right? Yeah, so it's not showing on mobile, so that's good. I still wouldn't show it either way. But a lot of times we throw things up there just because we got them, right? Well, think about the exact opposite. If you don't have an explicit reason for showing something, do not put it up there. Right? So, this is like the related products. If these are things that you are picking out of the catalog that match, then you should keep it. But you should have it not be the generic related products term. You could say staff's picks for matching items or something. That is a much better experience. Like, one of these experts at Hiccups Children's Boutique went through and found me products that match this one exactly. Oh, that's awesome. Look at the service they're providing. Way different than related products. Customers also viewed, I like this functionality a lot. I wouldn't put it in a tab. I would have it as its own separate item if you could. And it might actually replace your wish list. Now, on the wish list, if people are using it, great, keep it. If people aren't using it, get rid of it, right? And 2 people using it isn't people using it, right? Let's just say off the top of my head, for every 100 orders, if you get 10 people that are wish listing, so if you get 100 orders and 10 wish lists created, that's good. Less than that, probably not. And that's just an off the top of my head number. So that is your product page. I think it's really, really light on content. Content being words, content being infographics, content being videos, content being multiple photos. It's really light. Now, I've had stores that are as light as this, and they're just selling because they built a brand. They're custom, and they're throwing out so many new products literally per day. It's a fashion place, and they're throwing out 20 products per day kind of thing. They didn't have time to go in and create content behind it, and it was selling. And then they only had a limited inventory, so they would sell out and be done, and the next tomorrow's products would come in kind of thing. But if this is a product you're going to be selling for a long term, I would imagine, it's just a guess on my part, that in babies' clothing, it's not the high, fashion turnover where 2023's clothes, come November are dead and gone. It's all 2024 stuff. You might want to invest a little time in building out the content. But if it is, if you only bought 100 of these and you're going to sell them once they're gone, that's a different situation. You're not going to spend a lot of time creating content for this page then. All right, so that is that. That is your collection page. Now let's talk about building trust. Right? So remember I said I'm going to start at the most important page. Now we're going to do your second most important page, and that is Hiccups, about Hiccups. Here's the problem. I don't think you have that page. So here I am. You want me to spend money on this store for the most important thing in my life, my baby, right? And so there's a lot of trust there, right? Like I literally have a friend who her kids are now adults, but back when they were 8 years old, they get stuff at school and they get stuff for their birthday and they bring it home, and mom had a rule: you look underneath and where it was made. If it was made in China, you throw it away. She just didn't trust anything in China because of toxins and she was afraid of the chemicals and stuff like that, it being dangerous, to breathe in and all that kind of stuff. Whether or not that's real, right? That concern. The point being that trusting. Anything in China was not trustworthy, right? For you, how do I know that I should buy from you? Why should I care about you enough that I'm going to buy from you? You give me no help in this, right? So you have no social presence that I can see. Just check and make sure I'm not lying here. And the only thing I can read about you is on our Contact Us page. You're saying you're in Louisiana, so you're an American company, which is always a plus when you're selling to Americans, right? So who are you? Is this, because here's my big fear, right? When I go to a site like this is some Chinese-run, crappy company, crappy quality. Their products are garbage, and when I get it, if I get it, within 3 weeks, I'm lucky. The returns are a hassle. I'm talking to people, and it's overseas customer support. It's really hard for them to understand what I'm saying. All that kind of stuff. That's a very different situation from me finding out, oh, this is a family-owned store, right? So, Melissa, I know you're a human being in the United States because you reached out to me, right? I bet you have a story that's interesting to people that people want to hear, right? And it's going to make me feel, so I gave you that example before where on this page here, we have this related products things. What if this was Melissa's related picks kind of thing? Your name was up there. And you see this a lot in the fashion brands, right, where a woman or a group of women have gotten together and they're putting their face out there and their name out there kind of thing. Super, super valuable. Let's say, I'll give you a real example. I always tell people I want to see dogs and babies, right? So this guy is selling survival gear, right? It's really rugged looking, masculine, military, yada, 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 MAGA type stuff going on here. But if we look at their Meet Our Team page, right, you got Jared, he's the owner. There's his grandkid, right? Got a baby. There's his wife, and because she works at the company also. There's their 3 kids. We got wildlife in this photo. We got a dog in this photo, and we got a dog in this photo. Babies and dogs, right? These are human beings. These are people that I trust and want to do business with. I can't say this about Hiccups because you haven't given the opportunity to connect to you on a human level. So, I'm going to bet you're a decent human being, right? And I bet, you've got kids, family, maybe not, dog, pets, whatever. You have interest, you give back to the community, you're part of a community, all that kind of stuff. You're not showing that to me, right? Give you another real example. We've got this, I'm the least good-looking person around, right? But here I am. I'm showing you, here I am coaching kids, right? What's that got to do with building websites? Not a thing, but I'm trying to show you I'm a decent human being, right? Like, oh, he coaches kids. It's so sweet. Look how cute they are, right? That kind of stuff. You're not giving me any chance here. And even farther, right? I show you the first website I built in 1994, right? The first e-commerce site, the first Shopify store, the first Shopify Plus store, all that kind of stuff to give myself, establish for me trust, or establish for me credibility, so that you can get trust, right? So here I am. I'm buying stuff for the most important thing in my life, my new baby. I want to buy from somebody I trust, and you're not helping me out with that, right? And I can't overemphasize how important I think that is. What we see a lot, right? When you watch people clicking on websites, they're like, oh, this is really cool. This is nice. I'm going to add it to the cart. Oh, I got to select a size option. Okay, now I'm going to add it to the cart. That's all good. I'm going to go, I'm going to go next. I want to continue shopping. And now what am I going to do? And you watch them, right? They go right down here and they look at the About page. Not everybody, not even close to everybody. But once people decide they want a product, the next thing they want to know is, who am I buying from? Can I trust them? And they go down here and they look for the About page, and you don't have one. So I would highly recommend you make an About page. And that About page isn't that foofy BS garbage that says, our mission is to clothe the babies of the world, right? That anybody could say. It should be, hey, hi there, I'm Melissa. And let me tell you how I got into Hiccups, right? I had a baby, and I couldn't find good clothing that I, liked for style-wise or for safety reasons, whatever the product was made, whatever the reason is. So I decided to go out and find the best baby, clothing items that are available in the market and bring them to you. So I do all that hard work, therefore you don't have to. And here's why you should trust me. And you show a picture of your baby looking so adorable, or if you don't have kids, your niece, your nephew, or kids, whatever kind of thing. Establish that credibility, right? If you don't have kids and you have a baby store, that's a hard story to sell, but you should still sell it, kind of thing. And I bet you do have kids. This is my guess. But uber point, you're not establishing that trust, right? You're not letting people who are thinking about buying from you research and understand what company they're buying from. Now, everything I just said before is all about you as a person, and I believe it should stay that way, right? I'm going to assume right now, and I bet you it's fairly accurate, that you are a family-owned business, and your store staff is probably just you. Now, you might have 2 or 3 other people. I could be wrong in that, but I doubt there's 10 people at this company. Doubt there's 100 people at the company. If I'm wrong, right? But a lot of people try to seem bigger than they are because they think there's strength in being big, right? And there's absolutely strength in being big if you are Google, Microsoft, or Amazon and are big. But people are on your website. They're not on Amazon. Everybody knows that Amazon exists. Everybody knows that Walmart exists. If they wanted to go big, they would be on Walmart.com or Amazon.com. They didn't mistakenly get to your website, right? They got there because they didn't want what was on Amazon or Walmart. So don't try to be big. Embrace being small, right? And that's a hard thing for a lot of store owners to understand or actually deliver on, because especially in America, it's all about the bigger is better kind of thing, but it's actually not true, right? A lot of people just want to connect with a brand, and the easiest way to connect to a brand is to connect to a person, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And a real example is you reached out to me after listening to my voice on a podcast. I think I was talking to Dan and the one you were listening to, kind of thing. Like, oh, this guy seems like he might know what he's talking about. Let me reach out to him, kind of thing. Right? You didn't reach out to Jay Puma, the company. You reached out to Scott Austin. Right? And I would, bet you that for your store, it's the same thing. It's the Melissa show, right? And the fun part is you get to, explain to people how to say your name, because I'm dying to know if it's Pierres or Pierres or Piers, Pears, like, you get have fun with that, right? Kind of thing. And I did one company. Let me see if it's still up. Oh. How do you pronounce this word here? Right. And we actually explained it. Obrary, right? We even did the pronunciation type thing. Obrary. It's the open library. Is what it's supposed to be, right? But our name is hard, so we actually had a little fun with it on our about page and said, "Here's how you pronounce it," kind of thing. So you need to establish trust. You need to have an about page. You need to make you part of the brand. And I have some clients who totally get that and run with it and do a fabulous, fabulous job. I have other clients who say, I don't want my name on the brand. And some of it is for legal reasons or whatever. Like, oh, if you can't do that, you're just not going to be successful. You can still be successful, but not as successful, right? And if you're doing it just because you don't like your face out there, well, then you're in the wrong business, right? To be quite frank, right? Because in the small business stuff, all the ones that that are super successful, they put their name out there and they're part of the brand. So we talked about the two most important things, right? The first one is your product page. The next one is trust. And trust is a bigger thing than just the about page. The about page is the first step of that. And the fact that you don't have that is a big gaping hole that needs to be filled, right? So now we're going to move up a level and we're going to go into your navigation. So let me pull up girls. So I'm going to go to a collection page. See, so what I like to do at this level, I don't know how that new arrival showed up there. I must have accidentally clicked on this when I was clicking on this one. See, I like making this girls link clickable, and I like these to open on hover. I don't know if you can probably set that in your theme in BigCommerce that these open on hover. So what's that look like? We go here, it opens on hover. Right? I didn't click anything, it just opened. And notice what happens when I click on laundry detergents. It actually goes to a page which gives me the exact same choices that were available in that menu that dropped down. Right? So I repeat this menu up here in this page, making this link clickable because this one's clickable, right? It's got a hover effect. I click on it, it takes me to sweaters. This one, it's got a hover effect. I click on it, and it doesn't have the same action. There's an inconsistency in behavior there, right? And the monogram baby sweaters is the way that most of them work. So, as I said before, you don't want to do things differently than internet conventions. You want to do them the same as internet conventions. Because people are going to get confused. Like people are like, oh, mine's different. It's unique. It's going to stand out more. It's the exact opposite. Mine is different. It is unique. It confuses people. They leave my website. Right? So you want to do things the standard way as much as possible. You want to stand out on service and content and those kind of things, not sexy sizzle, UI kind of things. So Uber point, I would make this hover, open the menu, and then click, take you to a page that has the same information. But be that as it may, let's go into a collection page. That's where I wanted to go to. So here I have, let's see how many items I have. I have 3 pages of all these items. And the only filters I have are by 2T to 4T girls clothing, bumbles. So these are, to me, very confusing. And maybe those are actually, I'm assuming those are like, those are product types. So you have shop dresses, but then I can also shop by size, right? So it appears to me that I can shop by product type, dresses, rompers, bloomer sets, and I can shop by size, 3 month, 6 month, 9 month, next bucket, 12 month, 18 month, right? Those are 2 different ways of shopping. So, but they're given equal billing here. So you could have a shop by product type and a shop by size, right? So if I go here, I could have one menu of shop by product type with all the product types listed. Well, I would have one that's probably new, another one that is by product type, sleepers, dresses, rompers, another column that is size, 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 24, and you might have another one that is something else, discount or closeout or sale or something like that. But here, you're making me make 2 choices, and it's not clear to me that I'm making two choices. Like it took me a few seconds here to realize, oh, this can lead to the same content as this, but well, there's an overlap between the content between the two based on product type and sizing. So that's very, very confusing, right? And I noticed it here because definitely here I would expect everything in the filter to be the same, right? The same level, and they're not. And I also think that you'd want, better filters here. This is probably your built-in filter. In a lot of stores with a lot of products, you don't have a lot, so you might not need it. Let's just go to dresses and see how many dresses you have. You got one page of dresses. Yeah, so let's just stay on this page for a little bit. And there's no more product type because there's only one product type being listed there. And let's go to our prices. So the only filter I have is price. And is that really how people are making choices here? Like, what I don't see here for filters are things like material. Maybe I want a cotton dress. Maybe I want, something, another type of material, rayon or polyester or whatever. Maybe I want to shop by color, right? Maybe I want to see just pink dresses or just blue dresses or just green dresses or purple, right? Those kind of things. I don't think your filters are very useful, especially when there's only one here. Like, price is probably the last thing you want them filtering on. You want them finding the right product for them based on other things. So the way your filters work today, I would remove them. And then I would ask myself, do I need a real filter system that does things like filter by size, so I could, at this level, see the sizes, or by color, or by material, or by vendor, or whatever the important criteria are, and go from there. Right? So I'm sure BigCommerce has ways to do that. Now, sort's nice, and it works. That's good. I'm not a fan. So I showed you before. I try to hover over things and look at it, and that kind of. My mouse. This is what normal people do. You watch their mouse, and they stop as they look at things, right? And right now, I'm looking at this product, right? I want to compare this dress in my mind to this dress right next to it. So I put my cursor over it, and then I'm lost, right? I can't see the product anymore. I got quick view, I got compare, and I got choose options. What's the difference between quick view, compare, and choose options? Right? Your customers aren't going to know, and you're not going to be able to explain to them. I'm a huge fan of killing all this hover garbage, right? This quick view, compare, choose, I remove them from my collection pages, right? And people want to learn more about this product, then you click on the product page where I'm going to do my best job, put my best foot forward with all my content, and you can make the choices. And people are like, oh, you got to be 3 clicks from add to cart, and it's absolutely wrong. What you need to do is have people have enough confidence that when they add a product to the cart, it's the best product for them and they've made a good choice. The quicker you make people go to add to cart, the less confidence they're going to feel in things. So this choose options, which doesn't, that takes me to the product. Yeah, that's awful. All right, so here I got quick view where I can choose options. And on that quick view, what's that scroll bar for? Oh, it's showing the whole product page. Yeah, there's nothing quick about that. It's just showing the whole product page. And then this one is actually see product or learn more, right? Not choose options. And the compare, you probably compare things side by side. So let's just do that. So I do the compare, and I don't see any way to compare them. So I click on it. Yeah, so I don't know what the compare does. I don't see where it does anything for me. Right? So I would not have this whole hover thing. I just show the products. Once people click on the product, they go to the product page, learn more about that product. So now, one of the things I recommend on collection pages, and this is especially true for you, right? So right now, I'm going to assume that you're getting a lot of new products, which is why you have no reviews. Maybe it's just None of your products. So either you have high turnover of your products, you're doing new inventory, new product types all the time, or you're new to being online, whichever one it is, right? Comes down to the same thing. I would not show this reviews widget on your collection pages, right? And I would probably never show them. The reason for you, I would not show them, and most of my clients, I do this. We pull the reviews off of the collection pages, and here's the big reason why, right? On Amazon, there are 1-star reviewed products. There are 2, 3, 4, 5-star reviewed products, because Amazon sells everything, right? They're not managing their product inventory, or they're not managing their product catalog, what's up there kind of thing. They put anybody can put anything up on Amazon. So there's good stuff and there's bad stuff. For you, it's a curated store, right? So you only have good products up there, right? If you start getting 3 stars on a product, you're probably going to pull it out of your catalog. So imagine all your products have reviews, right? They're all going to be 5 stars. So they're all 5 stars. The review stars are not helping me, or 4.98 or that kind of stuff, right? Those reviews aren't helping me decide which one of these is better. Like, oh, this is a 1-star dress, so I'm going to get the 5-star dress instead, right? The review stars aren't helping you with that. And then all you've got after that is the number of reviews. And right now you've got some products with reviews, some products with no reviews. And if that's a normal phase of your business, because the new products, you're not going to give your new products the right promotion, because people are going to gravitate towards the one with 18 reviews, right, kind of thing. So I would not show reviews on this page. Now, this is the decision-making page, right? And collection pages are super, super important. And a lot of people think about them as a list of products, but it's not a list of products, it's a decision-making page. And what I mean by that is, I'm on this page, I'm making a decision on which product to look at, right? Now, it's easy to make one decision at a time. It's hard to make 2 decisions at a time. It's nearly impossible to make 3 decisions at a time. So what you want to do is design your product catalog and your collections in such a way that you're making as few decisions as possible, ideally 1 per page that you're on, right? So sometimes what we do is let me give you a real example of this on a really large catalog. These guys have like 30,000 SKUs in their store. If you click on bed, we don't take you to a collection page, right? We take you to a page where, like, do you want sheets? Do you want duvet covers? Do you want coverlets? Do you want quilts? You're making a product type choice, right? And you can at any time shop all bedding also. Then when you click on sheets, that's when we show you the collection, and then we give you all the filters. And we spent a long time enriching all the product, the product data to have these filters and be filterable, right? But they figured out, the store staff figured out what was important to customers and made sure that that data existed for every single product in the catalog. We got 30,000 products or SKUs. That's not easy to do, but because they went through all that work, it's really easy for people, or it's easier for people to make a decision. Like, I only want the highest thread count products possible. Well, there you go, 800. Here's the products with 800 plus thread count. So now their consideration set is a little bit smaller. Like, well, I'm only looking for cotton, right? Those kind of things. So here, you want to reduce the number of decisions they're making at one time, right? And you want to make it clear on this page what are the differences between these products, right? So this page right now is, like, for example, is vendor an important thing in this decision-making process? And if it is, great. But if it is, it should also be a filter. My guess is it's not, and you're just showing this information just because the theme does it by default, right? Get rid of the vendor, right? That's not helping people make decisions right now. Now, baby girl's yellow dress set, smocked angel bishop. Baby girl's lavender smocked angel bishop dress set. So this right now is sorted by price. Let's just go by best selling. They're still, nope, they're not side by side anymore. I don't know where the other one went. Here it is right here, right? So now these products are no longer side by side. So it's no longer obvious to me that it's the same product in 2 different colors. So what I would do in this situation is I would combine this product with the other color, and I would make color a choice here, right? So that on the collection level, I don't have to worry about, oh, what other colors of this product exist, right? Because right now I'm just picking a product, right? Right now I should just be picking a product. The way the product catalog is currently defined, in this situation, I'm picking a product and a color, but I don't know that because the other one's down here, and I don't know that. Right? And you may have other ones of the same product in other colors. I don't know, right? So you really got to think long and hard about your product catalog and what decisions people make before they get to collection pages, like I showed you in the bedding example. How you lay out your collections, with filters and all that good stuff, so that they can, zoom in on what they're looking for. And then at the product level, when do you combine different colors or sizes, or like obviously in sizes, you have them as the same product. I would do the same with color in that situation. And that puts less products on this page, making it easier to make the choice. A lot of people actually take their product catalog and spread it out. Like they got 10 products, they try to turn it into 20. I'm like, no, you should do the opposite. Take your 10 products, turn it into 8. The fewer products you have, the better, believe it or not, right? You want a lot of SKUs and you want to give people the color options. At the product level, you don't want as many of those as possible. You don't want too few, but you don't want too many, right? And this is a great example of this one here where there's too many, and that can easily cause confusion for people. And by the way, when I get to this page, if you were going to keep it a separate product for whatever reason, why aren't we promoting that other one right here, right? And what I've done before is I've shown products, show you a real example. Let's go to the game steward. And if we go down to, let's just go under franchises here and pick on Final Girl. And we pick, and I'm going to pick a sold out product on purpose. This is a sold out Final Girl product. And what we do is we actually say, hey, Final Girl has all these other games in this franchise, right? So if you like Final Girl, well, this happens to be sold out, but you could click on any of these other ones and see that version. So here you can see that version. Down at the bottom of this page, oh, they don't have it at the bottom of this page, I don't know why, but we cross-promote things that are similar. So if you were going to keep these as separate products, I would still, on this page, somehow say, hey, this is also available in green. Click here to see that one kind of stuff. All right, so we're still talking about our collection pages. So the visual in your space is usually more than enough to let people get the information they need. So, you could see here, once again, I got the vendor here and the vendor here, pulling that stuff out would, decrease the number of words. What I always look at doing is how can I have less words on this page so that's more clear what the differences are. But in yours, that might be overkill because they're just different dress styles, right? And the photo is going to be the difference between them. So that should be enough for people to make decisions. Now, why booties are showing up in girls' dresses, right? So there's something wrong with your taxonomy, right? So your collection is probably defined anything with product type equal to, and if I get the words wrong for what words they're using in BigCommerce, I'm using the way that I say this in Shopify, right? Product type is equal to baby dresses or girls' dresses, right? So this product is probably misclassified, right? And that's something easy to fix, but you got to fix that, right? I think I saw one earlier. Let's just go here. Yeah, I saw somewhere before where I went to boys something and girls stuff showed up too, or vice versa, I forget which. So making sure that you're classifying, you define ahead of time that here's the product types I'm going to use, right? And I'm only going to have these X number of product types, and then you make sure you're using the right one and all that good stuff, and that your collections are following rules. I don't know if your collections are rules-based or manually adding products to them. You want them to be rules-based if they can be, because that way you're less likely to make mistakes, and when you do make a mistake, it pops out a little bit more. So let's just look at another collection just for the fun of it. I guess monogramming is big for you. And that might be, by the way, another field here, right? Monogrammable, yes or no, or personalized name or something like that, whatever the right thing to do is. It'd be interesting to see what percentage of your sales actually purchase that. Right? I'm seeing it a lot, but is it important? Right? And maybe it is, right? And if it is, great, right? Because you're making extra money off of that. It's a differentiator, all that good stuff. But the point being, if it's not that important, then don't distract people with it. But I bet you it is, just because it's so prominent on what you're doing. All right, so that is our collection pages. Now let's look at your top nav. So the way your home page looks is not as important as the way your top nav looks. Your top nav is your site experience. Like, a lot of people think about, oh, my front page is the front door to my website, or the front door to my store. Like, no, this is not 7-Eleven. It's not like there's a door. Every single one of your pages is a door to your website, and people come in from all different sources. From emails you send out to SEO to ads and all that kind of stuff. So they land on any given page, and that's why the header becomes so important, because this from here up, this shows up on every page. So this is way more important than the home page. So let's look at what you got here. So I got a lot of space here, right? So this search being up here, taking its own row, gives a lot of white space here. And you have a very tall, if we talk about aspect ratio, it's not square, it's not even close to square, but it's very tall and not very wide, right? It's still landscape, but not very landscape, if that makes sense. And that just makes it tall. So if we look at this again on mobile, right, you've got this, yeah, so that's just horrible, right? And every one of your customers on mobile, which is probably 60 to 80% of your customers, see this when they show up on your website, right? And maybe they land on this page instead, right? So they see this, and let me make sure it's true. Let me just look at this on the phone, because sometimes on the computer it lays out a little differently. So hopefully I don't see this on the phone. And that is Hiccups Children's Boutique. No, it happens on my phone too. I'm on an Android phone, exact same thing. Yeah, so you definitely want to fix that, right? That's easy to fix, but this right now is your brand, right? Would you trust that website? If you just landed on this page, someone sends you a link, said, hey, check out these great gowns and sleepers for little Johnny, and you land here, like, I'm not shopping this site. It's that trust thing, right? So it's those little details. You don't have to have the most polished website like the top brands in the world do, like an Allbirds and that kind of stuff. But you do have to not make these kind of mistakes. And just like that sock being on that collection page for dresses, it's those little things that are going to make people go, I don't know so much about this store. I'm not feeling it, right? And they're not going to forgive you because they don't know about Melissa and how wonderful she is. Because this just makes it think, this is some crappy Chinese store, and they just threw this up there in the middle of the night and don't care, right? And that's why you could overcome a little bit of these mistakes and be forgiven if you had more of a brand and a presence and talked about the person-to-person connection you can make with these people. But if we look at our navigation, that's what we're looking at, right? New arrivals, that's good. It's probably very important in your space. Girls, boys, makes total sense. Monogrammed baby sweaters. So well, first of all, your brand is Hiccups Children's Boutique, but everything is baby, right? And the reason I say that is, and let's just look at this. Oh, it's just sweaters, and they're just monogrammed, right? So isn't that sweaters? All of your sweaters happen to be monogrammed, yes. All of them happen to be baby, yes. But all of your products are baby anyways, and most of your products are monogrammed. So this monogram, if I want a sweater for my baby, my only choice is this one here. And the reason I say this is, remember I said, on the collection page, have less words, right? So the only unique word, well, that's not accurate. The only word on these three words that makes this different than this one here or this one here is the sweaters, right? Everything's baby. Most things are monogrammable, right? So this is just sweaters. In other words, just make this sweaters, right? And then I get to see the sweaters, right? So layette sets, I don't know what a layette set is. I assume parents do, but I do not. And it looks like, these are just the ones for when you take your baby home? I don't know, right? So if everyone knows what a layette is, great. If layette's a word that only insiders know, you might want to change that. And are all layettes sets or not? Right? If they're like, is this layette set? I don't see why this is a set. Right? So I'm just debating, do you need the word layette and the word sets, or can you get away with layettes? Right? Like here, it doesn't say girls' baby clothing. It just says girls. People get it. That's enough. Christening. Okay. These get a little long, right? So once I select on christening, can this just say boys? And this just say girls? And they can understand that it's boys christening, or could it just be boys christening and girls christening and get rid of all those extra words, right? You want, the goal here is when I click on this, I can choose which one of these four is best for me as quickly and easily as possible. So you want to reduce the words, not reduce too many, but reduce some. Right? And once again, this is blankets, right? It's not baby blankets, it's blankets. Because all you are is babies, right? And so then on here, it could be all blankets, boys blankets, girls blankets. And I would assume, pure assumption on my part, and you're in Louisiana, I'm in California, right? We kind of live in different cultures. Crazy world that we live in today. How come you don't have a unisex? Do people expect a unisex? What makes a blanket, and I mean this for all your stuff, not just your blankets, right? And there's a population of America who will be offended if there's unisex. There's a population in America who will be offended if there's not a unisex, right? So it's like you can't win. But what's important is what's important for your audience. So my only point is all meant to be unisex, or is it just both boys? Just think about, is unisex something as a category that you should think about? That's all. And I know it's a hot button in today's world, so I'm not trying to open that up at all. Monogram font options. Yeah, that's horrible. No explanation of what's going on here. The first thing I see is, boom, thrown in my face crap. Those same photos that I've critiqued enough. Well, actually, this one's a little bit different than the one I saw before. The other one had some named fonts above it also. So here you have, so here I can see, there is a cost based on design. I did not see that in the product. So somehow you've got to, I don't know how you're charging for that stuff, but it's got to be clear to customers beforehand. And then you drop into the products. Are these all the monogrammable products in your store? Doesn't seem like. So here's the cost of, this is just bad. And don't get me wrong, you're doing the right thing. You're heading in the right direction, right? You're trying to explain things to people, but there's a difference between let me shop for monograms and tell me about monograms. And this page is trying to do both things. It's trying to let me shop for monograms down here, and it's trying to tell me about monograms here and at the bottom, right? And that mixing and matching a thing. Remember I said before on the product page I have a monogram section that explains stuff. So here, what you want to be doing at this level is getting people excited about monograms. Look how awesome monograms are, and how cute your baby's going to look with little Billy's name on his sweater, kind of thing, right? That's totally true. I'm not exaggerating there at all. I can see where people would love that stuff. So all you want to do is get them excited about monogramming here. The details on how to monogram, do that once they've made the decision they want a monogram, right? So that's why here you want to get people excited about monogramming, and say it comes in lots of different colors and fonts, and you get to choose and design it yourself. You show pictures of babies, 4 babies with different monogram things on it, kind of stuff. And then none of this price stuff and all the details. Then they pick on a product, right? And they go into that product, and then all that content that I was talking about, the header and footer of that last page, that's all in here. And I can read the details about that. And you want to create that content in such a way that you create it once on the website and use it on all those product pages. You don't want to write that into every product description. You want to use code to make that happen. So you write the content once and show it in multiple places. All right, we're an hour and 15 minutes in. I'm just looking at, I want to make this useful for you, but I don't want to go on for 14 years. So we're going to start wrapping up. Not yet, but we'll get there. Personalized baby shoes. Once again, I think this is just shoes. Heard enough on that. Sale is awesome. I would put sale last on the list. And then baby backpacks and duffel bags, I would just call that bags. I was trying to reduce words. Like I said, you don't want to reduce too much. So if I make it too simple and it's not that simple in the world, you're going to know better. But if you can reduce things down to make because right now, all right, I got 1 row here in the header. I got a 2nd row. I got a 3rd row. This is too tall. Now I got 2 rows here. We're just trying to get this. And on desktop, can you go full width with this? Like the top bar is full width. Can this go full width also? So we don't wrap on a 2nd line. Now let's also look at this on mobile. Okay. All right, so we talked about your product pages, we talked about your brand, your about, we talked about your collection page, we talked about your navigation. And a lot of that is all defined experience, people making decisions, being confident when they add things to the cart and all that good stuff. Now, I'm not going to critique the home page too much, but I am going to use this to critique the next thing I think is missing in the store. And that is a heartbeat. Right? This is just so generic. So you do have reviews, which is a little bit of a heartbeat, and you are showing. No, you don't have a review carousel. It'd be really nice if you could put a Yotpo review carousel on your homepage, so that I could see that hey, someone left a review yesterday, or even better, today. Right? You don't want to put that on your store if somebody hasn't left a review in 2 years. And I literally have one of those stores that we're working on right now. That's a heartbeat. Someone left a review yesterday at this store. That shows me that someone bought something from this store sometime in the past couple of weeks, which means when I submit my order, someone may actually process it, and I might get something delivered to me. Right? Another heartbeat is an Instagram feed. Now, you don't have social, and I'm not saying you need to have a massive social presence and try to get 100,000 followers. If you could do that, that's great. But a basic Instagram feed is a nice, really heartbeat. And what it shows is that someone at this store, let's say you do 1 post a week on Instagram. And you have a feed on this page that shows your Instagram feed. And I could see sometime in the past week that most recent post was posted. Then I know in the past week there's a living body at this store. And I mean it as simple as that. It's truly just a heartbeat, right? But you're trying to bring life to your store. So the biggest life thing that is missing in your store is people, right? Babies and humans, right? So you're not selling clothing, right? You're not selling baby clothing. What you're selling is, family connection and, family time and the grandparents, gooing and guying over their grandkids and, happy aunts and proud uncles and all that kind of stuff. That's what you're selling. But I don't get to see any of that here, right? All I see, with the exception of these 3 images, all I see is over and over and over again, product, product, product. I don't see people at all, right? And don't get me wrong, it's hard to put people in your photos, but that's brands that stand out have human beings in their photos. And if you don't have it at the product level, you got to start doing it higher up, right? So you're on this page here, here's a real example for you. This is just, when I say it's horrible, I'm not criticizing you. I hope you understand that. It's just this is just horrible, right? And I'm going to nitpick and show you why it's horrible. Just try to be constructive, right? So here, so on this dresses one, I've got this splotchy background gray thing going on because it wasn't made a full white background. But this is meant to be like an Amazon style photo, like these are down here with a full white background, right? But it was poorly done. Then I got this one over here where it's a landscape photo and they didn't do the white background thing. It shows multiple photos. So this style of this photo, the style of this photo are different. And I can say that for almost every one of these. Now this one, we got this little artistic gray background, which extends on the sides, but not on the bottom. And we do it here, but this one extends on the bottom and the sides, right? This one extends, so there's an inconsistency, right? So consistency is an important part of branding, right? And then I got this one here, where I got this little, I don't know what that little thing says down there, but it says something, and now I just want to know kind of thing. So each one of these images has a different style, a different cropping, a different treatment, and that inconsistency makes it look less professional, right? So what you want to do for these, right, your main nav elements, is this is where you put in lifestyle photography, if you can create it, but at the very least you want consistency in this photography. And I do think you need pictures of happy parents and kids, grandparents and kids. You know, it's great you got at least 3 babies on here, right? But I think you need way more humans in your photos. And like I said, if you can't do it at every single product, totally get that. You need some lifestyle photography that does that. So let me show you an example of what I mean. Let's go to FL&B again. We were there a second ago. It's right here. Go to their homepage. So here, right, they don't have humans in these photos, but here's their main navigation photos, and there's consistency in the sizing of them, right? You could say I like or don't like this layout, which, you know, we could totally, you know, there's no right or wrong opinion in that, but there's consistency in them, right? And let's go over here to Mulberry. And what these folks have done, right, there's consistency here, but they've also put humans in their photos, right? So they actually, you know, do their own in-house photography. They hire local models and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, all right, here's what we're going to shoot this week and that good stuff. But so they spend time and energy to make this. It's not easy. And don't get me wrong, the last time I talked to them, I critiqued these photos a lot because I don't think they're perfect. But what I love is when I first met this brand, all they have is products here. And adding photos here. So on this page here now, right, this site feels a lot more alive to me than just showing products, because now I can see, you know, I'm not buying silk sheets. What I'm buying is luxury, comfort, good hair care, whatever the goal I'm going for. I can see these people getting to that goal and destination, right? It's not just a silk sheet. So putting people in your photography is one way to bring it to life. And like I'm, you know, saying is, for you can't do that for every single product, but at your navigational level. So here on the home page, I would want to see more human beings, and here on your collection pages, you might have a nice banner, you know, not too tall, just a nice thin banner, set the tone, right, of, you know, girls' clothing kind of stuff with human beings in it and not just the product stuff. Because, you know, like I said, the site just isn't alive, right? I don't get the feeling that there's, you know, actually living, breathing people building the site or living, breathing people using the site. And putting that in, right, will bring your site to life. Really, it's not that hard, you know, to put an Instagram feed and the review stuff, and, you know, shooting, you know, let's just say you got 10 categories up here, somehow coming up with 10 lifestyle photos to start out with that you use here, and then on the collection pages also, and then in some of your marketing and your emails and stuff like that. Then you start having assets that you can use to draw people in, right? So, and let me show you a little example of that. This is one done with stock photography. So on this one here, we started this new section we're building out for them of industries, right? So here we got this guy. So these guys sell charging solutions, you know, for your laptop and your phone and all that kind of stuff. So here, I could actually find stock photography of a guy at a sports game with a phone, kids at school with phones, because phones are so ubiquitous. People at an outdoor event with phones, right? And then what I do is I take this photo here and I show it here in the background. I also crop it differently for showing it on mobile, right? So it shows up there also, kind of thing. But just showing you that just one photo like that really sets a tone way better than just a product photo. And that's what they had. We took this off of WordPress. That's what they had before, and we're still building these pages out. But just that photo alone sets a tone a lot better than not having just one lifestyle photo to set the context of what we're doing. And now we're going to use these in their email campaigns and that kind of stuff. And someday they will create their own photography, right? They're actually in like the Washington National Stadium. So someday they'll get a photo shoot at the Washington National Stadium with people using their products. But until then, we're going to use stock photography. Now, with you and your specific clothing, stock photography might not be able to do it, but doing a photo shoot with some lifestyle would definitely help you. And it's the kind of stuff that the successful brands, it's one of those cart and horses things, right? You're not going to be a successful brand until you do some of these things, but you can't afford to do some of these things until you're a successful brand. So, you just got to start doing it a step at a time, right? You don't have to do, everything all at once, but, on your homepage, it would be really nice if there was at least one banner photo above this that basically said, hey, we sell, let me take a step back. What is the one-liner for your site? Like if someone was to ask you, hey, what do you sell? What would you tell them? Is it baby's clothes? And if so, what is, that's actually you calling on the phone right now, Melissa, that's funny. But I'm going to finish this while I'm on this thought, and then we can talk later. So what is the one differentiator for you? What is your value prop? Let's take you back to Charge Tech. And this is still, like I said, a site under construction. But they're saying leading the charge, right? Charging solutions for every situation. What this is a you are here sign. If you are looking for charging solutions for every situation, you're in the right place. If you're looking at cell phone covers, you're in the wrong place, right? So notice there's no link here. I can't click this. I'm not taking people anywhere. I'm just saying you are here, right? So what would be nice for you for your first photo is a you are here sign, which takes up maybe down to here on the page. Hopefully we can combine this header to be a little shorter, right? And then it comes down to here on the page, and it's just a lifestyle photo of happy parents with a baby wearing your clothing, hopefully, and it says quality clothing or monogram clothing or healthy clothing, whatever the term is for your baby, right? Kind of stuff. Or keep your baby safe, keep your baby, whatever your marketing is going to be, you want that here, and you're setting the tone. So if people come here and you say the highest quality clothing for your baby, and they're looking for cheap crap from Walmart, they know not to waste their time, right? If they come here and it says, hey, this is the most affordable bathing clothing you'll ever find, and they're rich snooty people, then they also know to leave, right? By telling people what it is you stand for, it sounds like, oh, I'm going to lose customers. Like, you're not going to lose customers. You're just going to lose website visits or shorten them, and that's a good thing, right? Because then you're going to be focused on serving the people that want what it is that you're selling, right? So hopefully that all makes sense. We're now an hour and a half into this thing. I would say overall, you got a good product set, right? It makes sense why these products are all brought together. There's a sense that I get a style, right? There's consistency and styling in what you're doing here, kind of stuff, right? It is not just commodity stuff. It's higher quality. We're going to monogram them and personalize them. I think there's a lot you can do with that, right? You're in an interesting space, and of course, people love to spend money on their babies, right? So I think you can up the game quite quickly by adding some lifestyle photography, coming up with a story and an about page, adding yourself to the brand and making yourself part of the brand, establishing that trust, putting that heartbeat into your store, right? And then once you start doing that, you should actually then you can start doing the lower level things. You'll never end. There's always something to keep improving upon. There's always 10,000 things to keep improving upon. But I would focus on that heartbeat, with some lifestyle photography, maybe an Instagram feed, show the reviews, build an about story, and then start going through all the details I gave you about how to fix this page and that page and the navigation, decision making, and all those kind of things. But I wouldn't do the structural stuff first, the decision making, the navigation. I would do the heartbeat stuff first, because you want to feel like a living, breathing entity first, to bring your customer closer to you and feel that connection. Because without that, you're just another one of 10,000 other stores out there. All right, hopefully that all makes sense. Hopefully this is useful for you, and constructive. I'm not just here trying to trash your store. I'm trying to give you ways that you can improve upon things. So thanks for watching.